Hello and what is going on, lovely people of the internet? It's Hootmoney here with another video for you guys today. Today we're going to be talking about CFVI and PTPI, two stocks that were requested from the Twitter followers. So if you guys don't already follow me on Twitter, boom, Hootmoney YT on Twitter, go throw me a follow. And if you guys want me to cover a stock of your choice, feel free to tweet at me as well. Or you can leave a comment down below. Any of that is good. So these two stocks were requested by my Twitter followers. And yes, guys, I am not a financial advisor. These are not buy alerts. When I make a video about a stock, I'm not saying to go buy it. I never have and I never will. I cover these stocks because people want to see my analysis on them. Just because I make a video on a stock does not mean I'm going out and buying these stocks. I might not buy either one of these stocks going into tomorrow, but I'm making a video on it, okay? You got it? Not a financial advisor. Go out, do your own research before buying these stocks. Boom, check marks. All right, we're good to go. So if you guys don't mind dropping that early like on the video, it's always very highly appreciated. Liking the video is the number one thing you guys can do to help me out here on this channel. Subscribe for more content by hitting that subscribe button down below and hit that post notification bell as well. If you hit that bell, you get an alert every time I go live on this channel. We go live each and every single day, 30 minutes before the market opens at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. We have tons of fun. We do a bunch of jumping jacks, baby. We get the blood pumping before the markets open, and it's just a good time, and we all love to make money there as well. I actually did call out PTPI before it started running. It increased a whole $1 in share price since my call out, so that was always fun. But yeah, let's just jump right into this. So we have the CFVI chart right here on the screen, and you guys can see it's kind of forming like this little cup pattern. So maybe it comes into a cup and handle, right? But what I wanted to show you guys is that the volume actually did pick up here on Friday, halfway through the day, and it continued into after hours. I think this momentum is likely to continue into Monday as well. CFVI is a special purpose acquisition company merging with the company Rumble, which is basically a YouTube competitor application. And what they're essentially doing is YouTube has a bunch of restrictions on their platform. I pretty much can't curse right now. Like, I want to say the F-bomb, right? I want to say F you, whatever. But if I do that, I get demonetized, right? And there's a bunch of other things that get censored on YouTube. So Rumble is essentially the competitor that is not going to censor different content. And that's why it has its competitive advantage. So that's why people like this. There's also talk of CFVI having a distribution deal with the former President Trump. The former President Trump has its Truth Social app, which also is a special purpose acquisition company, DWAC. So this is also a company in connection with the former President Donald Trump. And if we actually look at the charts right here, the CFVI is now at $13.34. I do expect this thing to gap up a bit at market open just because of the hype that's been building over the weekend. But if you guys look at what DWAC did, you guys can see this enormous gap. You can barely even see it. We're gonna have to go back to this hourly chart to really get the full picture of DWAC. Right here, it jumped from $10 a share all the way up to $175 per share, right? As soon as they got the announcement of this news. So there's a good chance that CFVI could pull something similar, right? And if we scroll out, that's a terrible chart right there. Boom, we got the real chart. You guys can see this thing gapped up, comes right back down afterwards, and now it's starting its run again. DWAC pretty much did a similar thing to that. If we go back here, you guys can see that it kind of gaps up on the original announcement up to about $20 per share, comes all the way back down to about $10 or so before really taking off. So a similar pattern could be forming here on CFVI. Weeble always wants to show me like the worst part of the graph when I click on it, but you guys can see it jumped up to 15 and it's coming up. So it's probably going to be on a much smaller scale than DWAC. DWAC was kind of like a once a year event. Things like that just don't happen too often. And you also saw DWAC sell off very, very hard from its peak of about 175 down to about $40 per share. So there's obviously a lot of risk and a lot of volatility, but that's also an opportunity to make a lot of money. So you can lose a lot of money, especially if you're chasing this thing. I mean, looking at it right here, up 12% on the day, 12% after hours. It is a chase. It doesn't mean you can't make money, but it is a chase. And I actually think this is actually a very, very solid for making money. And on that note, we can jump into Market Cipher right here to get a better technical analysis. And I'm going to scroll out here to the 12-hour chart to show you guys what I think is going on. So you guys can see the green right here. So the green wave that you're seeing, or this green stretch, is essentially bullish money flow. It means money is flowing into the asset, right? So this is CFVI, right? And we've seen money flowing into this thing since pretty much the beginning of November. Someone knew what was going on, right? Even though it wasn't public information, there was tons and tons of money flowing into this, and it has not stopped since. It got this green dot right here. I don't know if you guys can see it. The green dot is essentially a bullish continuation signal or a buy signal. So even though it is in reaching that overbought territory, there's enough demand and money flow in this stock that they do believe that this will continue, or at least this technical indicator is saying that. Same thing on the 4-hour chart right here. It's a bit overbought, right? But it got that continuation signal right here, right? The bullish continuation, and it's completely green money flow on every single time frame, and it honestly does look poised and primed to continue this rally. I do think this thing gaps up in pre-market. It's hard to say what's going to happen. I can't predict the day-to-day fluctuations of a stock, but it does look very, very nice. It gets to the 15-minute chart where it's starting to say, oh, maybe this might be a bit overbought. But on the longer time frames, right, on these longer time frames, you're seeing very, very bullish money flow into this stock. Cash is flowing in at a very rapid pace. So I do think that it can continue this trend right here. It also is being talked about on social media so much. If we're looking at Twitter analytics past 72 hours right here, you guys can see it's the 7th most talked about stock on Twitter. If we're going into Reddit right here, you guys can see it's number 18 on Reddit in the past 72 hours. And then if we move into StockTwits right here, it's number 3 on StockTwits. So it has very high social sentiment currently. It does not have any short interest data to be looking at, only 43,000. It looks pretty nice here with the utilization. It's highly shorted in that regard, but only 42,000 of short interest. Not going to cause a significant short squeeze, even though these shorts are likely to get squeezed, but it won't really make a huge price movement. We can also take a look at the Furu flow here from Unusual Whales for CFVI. It really picked up on 12.3. Again, guys, it was complete momentum right here. I'm sure the momentum will continue into tomorrow on 12.6. So that should be very good. Now we can take a look at PTPI right here. PTPI has been following this trend, right? We've drawn in this trend line. It is right on that trend line right now. So perhaps it does get a bounce. Now, PTPI also had a $10 million offering that they just closed. So on that note, PTPI did have increased volume on 12.3. They closed the offering. It means there's no more dilution into the stock. Then the stock rallied, but it did get sold off into market close on Friday because just the overall market was selling off, right? And this is definitely a risky asset. I don't recommend just jumping into this. If anything, I'm more bullish on CFVI than PTPI currently, just because that's where we're seeing tons of momentum, right? But this is on trend, so it could potentially see some upside tomorrow. But I'm not counting on it by any means. We can jump into PTPI right here on the market sniper. We're looking at the same thing as CFVI. It got a red dot right here, meaning that the bull trend is slowing down. Another red dot right there. If we go to the 4-hour time frame, it gave a blood diamond, which is basically the worst signal that Market Cipher could give in terms of technicals. It means that this thing is coming down, and this could be defined by the big wave right here, right? And then there's a small blue wave that you can barely see. But the general strategy for Market Cipher, Market Sniper, that we see is that if there is a big blue wave followed by a small blue wave, right? That means that the stock is coming down. It's the same thing if you see it on the downside. Big blue wave followed by a smaller blue wave right here. I don't know if you can see it behind the red, but that means that the stock is likely to come up, and then we saw a nice little push after that nice blue wave right there. So we're getting the same thing but to the downside right now. So that could be a massive risk of this thing selling off and breaking trend. And if anything, it's telling you to go short right now, right? Because the red X is a short sell signal on PTPI. Looking at the hourly chart, and might I add, guys, on every single time frame, it's not very bullish money flow, right? There's not tons of money flowing into this stock by any means, even though it's been pretty flat or even has been trending up here. It's not really bullish money flow, right? Even on the 4-hour chart, not really very bullish money flow, right? At the end of the day, a lot of money is still flowing out of this thing. Hourly chart as well. For briefly, there was bullish money flow, but again, overall on these time frames, not very bullish money flow. And again, on the hourly chart, we get the big blue wave here, followed by a nice little smaller blue wave, which would be another bearish sign right there. So I do like the fact that this is right at the trend line right here, which could potentially induce a bounce, right? If people are just trading off of a trend line. But overall, the technicals just don't look too great whatsoever. Here on the 15-minute, it did turn into more bearish money flow. So that's what Market Cipher is reading. Market Cipher looks a lot better on CFVI than PTPI currently. PTPI has very high short interest statistics. You guys can see it's number 9 down here on Fintel, has a $32 million market cap, about a 5% short interest percentage free float, and it has only 0.01 days to cover, which is insanely low. And that is another thing. You can't really expect a massive price action movement to the upside from a short squeeze because the days to cover is just so low. There's also no options. I have not gone over that yet, but there's no options on this. So most of the short interest is actually legitimate short interest and not just short interest hidden away in the options market. There's a ton of low market cap, low float penny stocks right here on the short squeeze leaderboard, all fighting for that retail momentum right now. I mean, SI right here, NUZE, RNXT, all of them fighting for that spot. And then we have PTPI down here as well. All of these right here are fair game for the most part. Looking at the news here, this stock was talked about as a penny stock mover multiple times on December 2nd and December 3rd. You guys can see tons of different headlines right here. Petros Pharmaceuticals, penny stocks to buy, right there for a short squeeze. Tons of different publicity on this stock. If we move over into the short squeeze signals right here, there are 2 outstanding short squeeze signals, 9 days remaining at type 1 and type 2. This is from Ortex. We can look at the Ortex data as well. 370% cost to borrow, 100% utilization. Right off the bat, it's going to look extremely attractive for a short squeeze based off these statistics alone. But if we actually look at the days to cover, and we can pull up the days to cover 2 weeks and the days to cover 3 months, the days to cover 2 weeks would be more accurate because there is more volume in the past 2 weeks than overall aggregate over the course of 3 months. And you can see the 2 weeks days to cover is only 0.1 compared to 3 months of 0.4. So days to cover being at 0.1, as well as there not being any derivatives or options to add synthetic short interest, the chance of getting a short squeeze that creates massive price action movements from PTPI is very, very slim because shorts can cover very, very fast. If we look at this, it's only 1.45 million shares in short interest. And if we compare that to the volume of 38 million on Friday, the volume absolutely swarms, swarms the short interest, right? 38 million compared to 1.4, which will completely engulf short interest, giving plenty of liquidity for short sellers to exit their short positions if they wanted to without really creating a massive price fluctuation in the stock. Looking at the same thing, the Furu flow right here, it peaked out on 1129, right? And it has been coming down ever since. And combined with some of the technicals right here, right? It's not looking great. It's not looking great. I mean, this is something that depends on momentum and depends on sentiment. And right now, it appears that the sentiment is coming down. So overall, I wouldn't be surprised if this does sell off, even though it has some very high numbers here for in terms of cost to borrow and utilization. I'm not super confident in this one. All right, I'm more confident in CFVI 100%. Anyways, that's about it for the video. If you guys wanted to check out Moomoo, they have an insane promotion, literally free money, guys. This is the best promotion you can get from any brokerage right now. All you have to do is make an account and you get 1 free stock valued up to $3,500. So no deposit required for that, up to $3,500. That already blows out any other brokerage, but then you can deposit at least $1 and you get an additional stock up to $3,500. So you make an account, you deposit $1, you can get up to $7,000 total in free stock just for depositing $1 on their platform. I mean, it's essentially free money, and there's no other brokerage doing a promotion like this. If you deposit $2,000, you get 3 free stocks valued up to $3,500 each. So on top of the already 3 free stock that you get for opening an account, you can get an additional 3 free stocks. So this is by far the best promotion. What is that, like $14,000 and essentially free stock up to, I mean, you're not going to get exactly $14,000, but it's by far the best brokerage promotion that I've seen so far. So it's definitely worth checking out. There's a link below in the description or in the pinned comment section down below. So check that out before you guys leave. Anyways, guys, that's about it for the video. I hope you guys enjoyed. That was my analysis on CFVI and PTPI. I like both of them. PTPI is not looking as strong as CFVI. CFVI has tons and tons of bullish sentiment coming into Monday morning. I definitely see this thing spiking up at 4 a.m., continuing that momentum from Friday into Monday. It seems very, very attractive in that regard right there. Also, just the fact that DWAC had such a parabolic move on the news of connection with the former president of the United States, Donald Trump. So it does seem like the momentum should carry over into Monday, but at the end of the day, it's such risky business. If I were to create a position myself, I'd be way more comfortable going into CFVI than PTPI. That's just my current opinion. Feel free to disagree. If you do disagree, you can leave a comment down below. And yeah, guys, that's about it. Drop a like before you guys leave. Remember, guys, I go live each and every single morning, 30 minutes before open. We have tons and tons of fun, so definitely join me on my live streams each and every single day. I'm looking forward to seeing you guys in chat. And yeah, guys, that's about it. Check out Moomoo. Links are below, and I'll be seeing you guys next time. Have a wonderful day. Peace.